What's up guys, my name is Chris and welcome to another video with HolmesInFive, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Thermaltake Ventus gaming mouse. So it's been a long time since I've done a video review, and I'm sorry that it's taken so long to get a proper hands-on with a new product, but once again, thank you very much to Thermaltake Australia for sending me a product to review. I've had a fun time using this mouse, and I'm going to go through and tell you guys exactly what I think about it, and I guess who I'd recommend this mouse for and the experience that I've had with it so far. First thing, as always, that I like to go over is talking about the physical aspects, just the visuals, taking a look at the mouse with the hands on, so you guys will see some cuts from me, taking a few close-ups of the mouse and I guess getting a good hands-on with it. I've had this for 3 weeks, by the way, so I have been using this on and off with some different games on the computer. I'm not going to specify exactly what, but I'll just tell you about my experience with it so far. Taking a look at the mouse straight away, as you can see on the general body of the mouse, we have a nice matte black finish, so getting a nice close-up here, you can see the matte body all around the outside. Along the top here, you'll see this nice kind of, I guess, honeycomb gap along with your palm rests and the Thermaltake Red Dragon pulsing underneath that. I'll get into more of that in terms of the design aspect later on. As we move around the mouse, you'll also see these rubberized grips on the side of the mouse. And moving towards the top, we've got a nice, I guess, a sturdy click scroll wheel. I say sturdy click just because the actual scroll wheel doesn't, I guess, continue scrolling. I've used some other scroll wheels in the past that have been very weighted on competitors' mice, and they continue to spin for a while, and I'm not a big fan of that. So this one's a very light scroll wheel, and I'm a big fan of how this one actually feels when using it. That also glows red, and will also flash depending on one of the buttons that you press on the actual mouse itself, but we'll get into more of that in detail later on. If you have a look on the left side of the mouse or the right, depending on which hand you're using, the left side on the right-handed mouse, and we have two macro keys or forward and back buttons for the mouse just for on-the-go scrolling or navigation. So if you want to set those as macros in game, it's very handy to have those there, and I always appreciate having those keys on my mouse. On the top middle, if you guys can see here, this is an on-the-fly DPI key. So this will actually let you change the mouse's DPI settings on the go between 4 different preset settings. Those will be listed in the description, so you guys can check out exactly what those numbers are. Talking about that scroll wheel, as we did before, when you press that DPI button, the mouse scroll wheel will flash according to which DPI setting you've chosen. Though it is very easy to tell which DPI setting you've got once you start playing the game or navigating on screen. As we move on, we'll flip to the bottom of the mouse here, and you'll see some large, I guess very broad Teflon feet for the mouse, and these are really obscure, but something that I really appreciate is these are very broad, so your mouse slides across the mouse pad very easily, but they're also very flat. So in the past I have used mice that have got I guess sizable feet, but they're very curved. These ones seem a little bit more streamlined to the mouse, and they collect very little dirt. I always get bothered when I'm using my mouse and dirt accumulates on the bottom of the feet and then ends up gripping or causing some kind of juddering over time. These, in the 3 weeks that I've been using it, you'd expect dirt to accumulate, but I have not had any issues with that, and I'm very happy with the fact that that doesn't happen. And you know, I don't know where the dirt goes, but it's certainly not on the bottom of the mouse. Staying on the bottom of the mouse, you'll also see a little port at the very back of it, which allows you to take out some weights. So inside of there, depending on what your preference is for mouse weight, and I guess how much you want to be throwing around the mouse pad when you're playing your games, you can adjust that accordingly. I personally like having a lot of weight in my hand when I'm using the mouse, and so because of that, I've left all of the weights inside the mouse, as you would have seen on screen just there. Moving on through the rest of the mouse, you'll also see Thermaltake, as always, have given you a braided cable. I always appreciate the fact that these are braided cables. In my experience with other cables for different accessories, whether it's to do with computers or other hardware, plastic cable or rubberized cable tends to break or wear easier, and braided cable, just the material finish, I always find to be a much more durable experience and feels a little bit more refined. And even though this is an entry-level mouse, feels like a very high-grade product. As always, again, with Thermaltake, I really appreciate this, but they give you a pouch for your product. So if you are going to use this as a mouse on the go, or something that you're going to take around for tournaments, that is definitely something you can use to keep your accessory safe. And with other products that I've had from Thermaltake, so like headsets and keyboards, etc., and previous mice that I've reviewed for Thermaltake, they always have that pouch inside, which is something that I'm always, again, very appreciative of. We'll talk about the mouse in a bit more detail now, mainly down to design aspect, and as I was talking about before, as you can see, this honeycomb finish on the bottom or on the back palm rest of the mouse. This is to allow for a much more breathable playing experience. So on the bottom here, as you would have seen in the close-up as well, we have a kind of a ventilation section. And for those who perspire when they're playing games, or people who I guess get into the game, and if you're playing competitions or you're playing with friends, if you get really into the game, or if you just have sweaty palms, this allows for your hand to have a much more breathable experience. And you're not going to sweat all over the mouse, and with the matte finish as well, it doesn't show up with all these sweat marks and perspiration. It just makes the mouse look a lot nicer, and I've noticed that this does make a very big change, having that hexagonal cutout all across the palm. I very much appreciate that. Something else that I really like, although again obscure, but something that I always appreciate as well, I have used some mice in the past, whether it be competitors or not, where the click, or the left and right click of the actual top pieces has been very sensitive, and some mice I've used in the past, all I have to do is relax my fingers on the mouse and it'll click, and I'm not a fan of a sensitive mouse. This does need a bit of pressure to actually press on it, and I'm very much a fan of the fact that this isn't a light mouse to use. It's the scroll wheel is very snappy, it clicks between each and it doesn't continue scrolling once you let go. And yeah, the left and right click are very, very sturdy and firm, and that's what I very much like about that. The last thing that I'd have to talk about that I very much like about the mouse is the fact that it's, I guess, the classic design. There's nothing crazy about it, there's no weird contours or stuff that's all ergonomic or trying to be next generation kind of mouse sort of thing. Thermaltake have kept the mouse very true to, basic design, but with some of the more favorable features built into the mouse. And I like the fact that this still looks like a classic mouse, but comes with all of those features. This mouse as well, the last that I've looked, so on the day that I'm making this video right now on PC Case Gear, so I'm in Australia, so this is pccasegear.com.au is where I purchased my products. This mouse goes for $55, so it's very, very cheap for an entry-level mouse. Like that's not breaking the bank at all. That's a couple of hours work if you're working 21 and up minimum wage, or if you're younger, work hard, get that cash money, do the dishes for your mum and dad. But it's very, very affordable. When I got this mouse and I did the review and then looked at pricing, I was actually surprised to see it was only that much, and I thought this was going to be pitched more towards the $70 or $80 mark. Not a big difference, but it's still something that I think is a very reasonable price and very generous price considering what you get in the box. This also does come, aside from the actual physical aspect and the mouse and the case or the pouch that you get, there is also a Thermaltake GPU that you get, which you can load onto your computer. This will allow you to customize all of your macro settings, so you can set that DPI middle click, I'm pretty sure, to adjust the DPI settings that it changes to, as well as macros for your side keys and the left and right, any other options that you want to change around, as well as your lighting. So you can't change color, but you can change whether the light is on, off, pulsing, etc. You can customize all of that and set profiles. The mouse also, again, not something you can see visually, but the mouse comes with 128 kilobytes of onboard storage, so if you go and make those profiles, it will save them, or you can make it save to the mouse, so that when you want to take those profiles with you, if you load the GPU onto another computer, your profiles and your personalization will all be there with you on the mouse. I don't give number ratings, as you guys may know. I'm gonna mention this again though, because it has been some time since I've done a review, but I do recommend this mouse. So for people who are looking to get into PC gaming, if you want to pick a mouse that's not going to be something to break the bank, but something to get you going, definitely recommend this. Or if you're looking to do tournament stuff, if you're wanting to maybe just like have a mouse to chuck in your bag, not worry about it getting knocked around, and again, it's not going to be an expensive mouse that you're going to lose if you damage it, but it's still going to be something that's a high grade and I guess well-performing product. I'm very, very happy with the way that this mouse has come out, and I very much enjoyed using it. If you guys have liked this review, feel free to go and high-five that thumbs up button down the bottom there. Always appreciate some feedback and comments. If anything, I always appreciate comments more than thumbs up or anything like that. So feedback, discussion down in that comment section below would be amazing. And if you do end up buying this mouse, let me know. And if you disagree with any points that I've made as well, comments, just let me know. I always appreciate the feedback. Hope you guys have liked this video, and as always, this has been another video with HolmesInFive. Comment, rate, subscribe, do all the cool stuff, and feel free to check out everything HolmesInFive down in the description below. Stay good, homies, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!